Hello and welcome to English Tales. Are you learning English? Awesome! Let's improve your English with an engaging story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Let's begin.
Have you ever wondered how a simple cup of coffee turned into a global empire worth billions of dollars? It might seem like magic, but the truth is that behind Starbucks' success lies a carefully crafted strategy, one that transformed coffee from a basic commodity into a premium lifestyle experience. Today, Starbucks has over 35,000 stores in more than 80 countries. But it didn't start that way. In fact, when Starbucks first opened its doors in 1971, it wasn't even selling coffee drinks, just roasted coffee beans. So, how did it go from a small shop in Seattle to dominating the coffee industry worldwide? In this video, you'll discover the key strategies that helped Starbucks create not just a product, but a powerful experience that customers are willing to pay extra for. And most importantly, you'll learn how to apply these strategies to your own business, no matter what industry you're in. Starbucks' story begins in Seattle, Washington, in 1971. Three friends, Jerry Baldwin, Zev Siegel, and Gordon Bowker, came together with a simple idea: to sell high-quality roasted coffee beans and equipment. Inspired by the rich coffee culture of Europe, they wanted to introduce Americans to better coffee. But in those early days, Starbucks wasn't a coffee shop. It was a place to buy beans and equipment to brew coffee at home. Everything started to change in 1982 when Howard Schultz joined the company as the director of retail operations and marketing. On a trip to Milan, Italy in 1983, Schultz had a life-changing experience. He was captivated by the Italian coffee culture, the warmth of the cafes, the sense of community, and the ritual of drinking espresso. He realized that coffee was more than just a drink. It was an experience. Schultz saw an opportunity. Starbucks could become more than just a place to buy coffee beans. It could be a place where people gathered, relaxed, and connected. But when he pitched the idea of turning Starbucks into a coffee shop, the founders rejected it. They believed their business was about selling coffee beans, not beverages. Determined to pursue his vision, Schultz left Starbucks and started his own coffee shop called Il Giornale in 1985. It was a success. Schultz created an atmosphere that mirrored the Italian cafes he had seen, complete with espresso machines, soft lighting, and a welcoming vibe. Customers weren't just coming for coffee, they were coming for the experience. In 1987, Schultz acquired Starbucks from the original founders for $3.8 million and merged it with Il Giornale. From that point on, Starbucks was no longer just about coffee. It was about creating a place where people could feel at home. Howard Schultz had a bold vision for Starbucks, but turning that vision into reality wasn't easy. In the late 1980s, coffee in the United States was seen as a commodity, something you brewed at home or grabbed from a diner for less than $1. The idea of paying $3 or $4 for a cup of coffee seemed absurd to most Americans. Schultz faced an uphill battle. He wasn't just trying to sell coffee. He was trying to change consumer behavior. Americans were used to quick, no-frills coffee. Schultz needed to convince people that coffee could be more than just a drink. It could be an experience worth paying extra for. The first challenge was pricing. Italian-style coffee drinks like espresso, cappuccino, and lattes were relatively unknown in the U.S. Why would someone pay a premium price for something they didn't understand? Schultz knew he couldn't win this battle by competing on price. He had to compete on perceived value. The second challenge was positioning. Starbucks couldn't just market itself as a coffee shop. It had to become a lifestyle brand. Schultz's goal was to create what he called the third place, a space between home and work where people could relax, socialize, and feel comfortable. He wanted Starbucks to feel like an extension of people's daily lives, a place where they felt seen and valued. But Schultz also had to convince investors. Many doubted that people would adopt this European-style coffee culture in the U.S. However, Schultz's vision was clear. Starbucks wouldn't just sell coffee, it would sell connection and community. The challenge wasn't just about introducing a new product, it was about transforming coffee culture in America. And to do that, Starbucks would need to craft a whole new customer experience. Howard Schultz knew that if Starbucks was going to succeed, it couldn't rely on coffee alone. The coffee itself had to be great, of course, but what would truly set Starbucks apart was the experience surrounding that coffee. Schultz's strategy focused on 5 core elements that became the foundation of the Starbucks brand, focusing on the experience, not just the product. From the beginning, Schultz understood that Starbucks wasn't just competing with other coffee shops, it was competing with people's habits. He needed to create a reason for people to walk into a Starbucks instead of making coffee at home or grabbing a quick cup from a gas station. Schultz's solution was to make Starbucks about more than just coffee. He wanted to create an emotional connection with customers. That's where the concept of the third place was born. A space between work and home where people could relax, socialize, or even work. Starbucks stores were designed to encourage people to linger. Customers weren't pressured to leave. They could sit with their laptops, read a book, or catch up with friends. The coffee became part of the experience, but the real product was the feeling of comfort and connection. Store design and atmosphere. Starbucks stores didn't look or feel like typical coffee shops, and that was intentional. Schultz wanted the stores to feel warm, inviting, and familiar, no matter where you were in the world. Each store was carefully designed to create a sensory experience. Warm lighting to create a cozy atmosphere. Wood furniture and earthy colors to give a natural, organic feel. Soft jazz or acoustic music playing in the background to add to the relaxed mood. The seating was designed to encourage customers to stay. Unlike fast food chains, which are designed for quick turnover, Starbucks stores were built to make people feel at home. Consistency was key. A Starbucks in New York needed to feel like a Starbucks in Tokyo, but with just enough local flavor to feel authentic to each market. Personalization and customer connection. Starbucks took a radical approach to customer service. They treated each customer like an individual, not a transaction. The most famous example of this is the name on the cup. This simple act of writing a customer's name on their cup created a personal connection. Customers felt recognized. They weren't just another order in line. The baristas were trained to engage with customers, ask about their day, and remember regular orders. Schultz believed that the key to customer loyalty wasn't just good coffee. It was the feeling of being valued. Customization became a cornerstone of the Starbucks experience. Customers could adjust the strength of their coffee, choose from different types of milk, or create completely unique drinks. This level of control made customers feel like Starbucks wasn't just selling coffee. It was selling a tailored experience, creating exclusivity and status. Starbucks mastered the art of making coffee feel exclusive without making it inaccessible. The company introduced seasonal drinks like the pumpkin spice latte, which became a cultural phenomenon, and limited-time offers that created a sense of urgency and excitement. Holding a Starbucks cup became a status symbol. The logo, the iconic green siren, became synonymous with sophistication and modernity. Taking a photo with a Starbucks cup and posting it on social media became part of the Starbucks lifestyle. The message was clear. Starbucks wasn't just a coffee shop. It was a brand that represented success and style. Expansion strategy. Saturating the market, Starbucks took a bold approach to expansion. Instead of opening a few key locations in each city, the company adopted a strategy of market saturation, opening multiple stores close to each other. This served two purposes. One, it created a sense of dominance and familiarity. Seeing a Starbucks on every corner reinforced the idea that Starbucks was part of everyday life. Two, it squeezed out competition. By occupying so much real estate, Starbucks left little room for other coffee shops to establish a foothold. The strategy paid off. When Starbucks entered a new market, it quickly became the go-to coffee shop, not because it was the cheapest, but because it was the most accessible and the most consistent. Starbucks also expanded internationally with remarkable success. When entering new markets, the company adapted the menu to reflect local tastes, like matcha-based drinks in Japan, while maintaining the core Starbucks experience. Why the strategy worked? Starbucks didn't succeed because it had the best coffee. It succeeded because it offered an experience that customers couldn't find anywhere else. The store design, the music, the personalized service, all of it created a sense of belonging. People weren't just buying coffee. They were buying a moment of calm in their busy day. Schultz's strategy transformed Starbucks from a coffee retailer into a cultural icon. By creating emotional value alongside functional value, Starbucks became more than a brand. It became a part of people's daily lives. Once Starbucks had established itself as a leader in the U.S. coffee market, the next logical step was to take the brand global. Howard Schultz knew that Starbucks had built a strong emotional connection with its customers. But could that same emotional connection be replicated in different cultures around the world? Schultz understood that global expansion wasn't just about opening more stores. It was about adapting the Starbucks experience to fit the nuances of each local market while maintaining the brand's core identity. It was a delicate balance between consistency and localization, and Starbucks executed it masterfully. International expansion. Starbucks opened its first international store in Tokyo, Japan in 1996, and it was an instant success. Schultz was initially nervous about whether the intimate social nature of American coffee culture would translate to the more reserved and formal Japanese culture. But it worked. The Japanese customers embraced the sense of community and relaxation that Starbucks offered, and the brand's commitment to quality and consistency resonated immediately. From there, Starbucks expanded rapidly across Asia and Europe. China. Starbucks adapted its menu to include tea-based drinks and lighter roasts, appealing to Chinese taste preferences. France and Italy. Starbucks faced initial skepticism from traditional coffee cultures, but won over customers by creating a modern, casual alternative to the more formal European cafes. Middle East. Stores were adapted to offer more private seating and accommodate cultural preferences for gathering spaces. One of the key reasons for Starbucks' success in these new markets was its willingness to adapt without losing its brand identity. Schultz often referred to this as glocalization, acting globally while thinking locally. Innovation and diversification. While Starbucks was expanding globally, the company was also expanding its product offering. Coffee remained the core product, but Starbucks understood that long-term success required evolving with consumer tastes and trends. Seasonal and limited edition drinks. The introduction of seasonal drinks like the Pumpkin Spice Latte, PSL, created a sense of exclusivity and anticipation. The PSL became a social media phenomenon. People weren't just drinking it, they were documenting it. Health and customization. As health-conscious trends grew, Starbucks introduced non-dairy milk options, sugar-free syrups, and organic products. Customization became central to the Starbucks experience. Customers could modify their drinks to reflect their personal tastes and dietary needs. Cold and non-coffee beverages. Recognizing that coffee alone wouldn't sustain growth forever, Starbucks expanded into new product categories, including frappuccinos, iced teas, and refreshers. This attracted a younger demographic and increased sales during warmer months. Food and snacks. Starbucks diversified its menu to include pastries, sandwiches, and breakfast items, turning Starbucks into a viable option for meals, not just coffee breaks. Strategic partnerships and brand extensions. Starbucks also expanded its reach beyond its stores through smart partnerships and brand extensions. Spotify partnership. Customers could influence the store playlists, reinforcing the sense of community and personal connection. Nestlé partnership. Starbucks signed a deal with Nestlé to distribute Starbucks-branded products in grocery stores, extending the brand's presence beyond its physical locations. Mobile ordering and loyalty programs. The Starbucks app allowed customers to order and pay ahead of time, creating a frictionless experience. The loyalty program incentivized repeat visits with free drinks and exclusive offers. The impact on global coffee culture. Starbucks didn't just adapt to different coffee cultures, it reshaped them. In Japan and China, the rise of Starbucks introduced a new, more social way of consuming coffee. In Italy and France, Starbucks' casual to-go coffee model created a new niche alongside traditional espresso bars. In the U.S., Starbucks elevated coffee consumption from a habit to an experience, influencing competitors and inspiring a wave of independent coffee shops. Why global expansion worked. The key to Starbucks' global success was its ability to remain authentic while adapting to local cultures. The store design and customer experience were consistent, but the product mix reflected local preferences. The company maintained its premium status even when expanding into developing markets. The emotional connection customers felt with Starbucks translated across borders, making Starbucks more than a coffee shop. It became a global lifestyle brand. By the early 2000s, Starbucks had achieved something extraordinary. It had transformed a simple cup of coffee into a cultural icon. The green siren logo became recognizable worldwide, and Starbucks became not just a coffee brand, but a symbol of modernity, status, and community. At its core, the success of Starbucks wasn't about coffee. It was about understanding human psychology and emotional connection. Howard Schultz recognized early on that people weren't just looking for a caffeine fix. They were looking for a place to feel seen, valued, and connected. That was the big insight that shaped Starbucks' rise from a small coffee retailer to a global powerhouse. Schultz's revelation came when he realized that coffee wasn't the product. The experience was. Anyone could sell coffee, but not everyone could create the feeling that Starbucks provided. When you walked into a Starbucks, you weren't just paying for coffee. You were paying for the atmosphere, the personalization, the comfort, and the status that came with it. Starbucks sold a lifestyle, not just a product. Starbucks positioned itself as a premium brand, but it wasn't exclusive. The price point was high enough to feel like a treat, but still accessible to the general public. This created a unique balance of exclusivity and inclusiveness. When you walked into a Starbucks, you weren't just a customer. You were part of a tribe. The brand created a sense of belonging through personalized service, calling you by name. Comfortable store design that encouraged lingering. A menu that reflected personal choice and customization. Starbucks became a habit. Schultz understood the power of rituals. People develop emotional connections to small daily routines, and Starbucks inserted itself into those routines. For many customers, stopping at Starbucks on the way to work or after school became a comforting ritual. a small moment of calm and consistency in a busy day. The big insight was that Starbucks wasn't selling coffee. It was selling a sense of identity and a moment of escape. Coffee was just the vehicle. The success of Starbucks didn't happen by accident. Howard Schultz and his team implemented strategies that any business, no matter the industry, can learn from. Starbucks' ability to transform a basic commodity into a premium experience offers valuable lessons for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals looking to build lasting customer relationships. Here are 4 key lessons from Starbucks' success that you can apply to your own business or career. Create an experience, not just a product. Starbucks didn't succeed because it had the best coffee. It succeeded because it offered an experience customers couldn't find anywhere else. Customers don't just want a product. They want to feel something. Starbucks mastered this by creating a consistent and comforting atmosphere in every store. How to apply. Focus on the sensory experience. The look, feel, sound, and even smell of your business matters. Think about the emotional state you want your customers to experience. Make your brand's environment part of the product itself. Example: a clothing store that uses lighting, music, and even the scent of the store to create a luxurious and relaxed atmosphere. Understand your customer and adapt to their needs. Starbucks succeeded globally because it understood what each market valued and adapted while staying true to its core brand identity. In China, Starbucks leaned into tea-based drinks. In Japan, it introduced smaller portions and more subtle flavors. But no matter where you go, the atmosphere and branding remain unmistakably Starbucks. How to apply. Research your target audience and adapt your offering to their cultural and personal preferences. Collect customer feedback and adjust your product or service accordingly. Stay true to your brand identity while making thoughtful adjustments for local markets. Example: a fast food chain offering vegetarian options in India or spicier flavors in Mexico. Build personalization and connection into your business. Starbucks' strategy of calling customers by name and customizing drinks created a sense of personal connection. People want to feel recognized, and that's exactly what Starbucks offered. How to apply. Find ways to personalize the customer experience, from remembering customer names to customizing products based on preferences. Train staff to engage with customers and create a welcoming atmosphere. Use technology, like apps and loyalty programs, to personalize the customer experience. Example: a hotel that remembers a guest's room and pillow preferences for future stays. Create exclusivity without alienation. Starbucks' seasonal drinks and limited edition products, like the pumpkin spice latte, created excitement and demand without making customers feel left out. Exclusivity can create desire, but it shouldn't create resentment. Starbucks mastered this balance by offering premium products while keeping the core experience accessible to everyone. How to apply. Introduce limited edition products or services to create buzz and increase demand. Offer exclusive benefits to loyal customers, but keep the core experience open to everyone. Use scarcity to drive interest without creating feelings of exclusion. Example: a cosmetics brand launching a limited edition holiday collection available only to loyalty members. Starbucks didn't just sell coffee, it sold a feeling of comfort, status, and belonging. That's why customers keep coming back, not because they can't find coffee elsewhere, but because they can't find the Starbucks experience anywhere else. By focusing on the emotional connection with customers, Starbucks created loyalty that transcends the product itself. And that's a lesson any business can learn from. The rise of Starbucks, from a small coffee bean retailer in Seattle to a global icon, wasn't just about coffee. It was about understanding human connection and emotional value. Howard Schultz's vision went beyond selling a product. He created a brand that became a meaningful part of people's daily lives. Starbucks didn't win by competing on price or even product quality alone. It won by creating an emotional experience that made customers feel valued and connected. The coffee was consistent, yes, but the real magic was in the atmosphere, the personalization, and the sense of belonging. Starbucks turned a $3 cup of coffee into a status symbol and a comforting ritual. When customers stepped into a Starbucks, they weren't just buying a drink, they were buying a moment of calm in a busy world, a feeling of recognition, and a sense of familiarity no matter where they were. The strategies behind Starbucks' success, creating an experience, personalizing service, adapting to local markets, and balancing exclusivity with accessibility, are not limited to coffee shops. They can be applied to any business, large or small. The next time you walk into a Starbucks, think about what you're really paying for. It's not just the coffee. It's the feeling of being known, the comfort of the atmosphere, and the sense that you're part of something bigger. And that's the true genius of Starbucks. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights into the strategies behind the world's most successful brands. Let me know in the comments, what's your favorite Starbucks drink? Or tell me about a brand that you think delivers an amazing customer experience.